So unless you have absolutely no fucking awareness of the world around you, you probably have some familiarity with the Me Too movement. Women in various industries, particular entertainment industries, have been calling out men who are abusers, rapists, just any kind of sexual misconduct. It's hit the movie industry really fucking hard, TV, comedy, even pro wrestling a little bit. And this past weekend, the hardcore scene had its own Me Too moment when an Instagram account by the name HardcorePredators popped up and started making waves. HardcorePredators was a private account, and notice that I said was. HardcorePredators was a private account that contained accusations against people in bands such as Terror and Stone, which honestly, I never fucking heard of Stone, but apparently they broke up over the allegations. A bunch of bands, and even some people who were just people who went to shows. I really don't want to get too deep into the specifics of any of the accusations for the fact that every single one kind of had the same conversation that comes up every single time one of these accusations comes out. You have one side that's like, well, I don't know, this really isn't evidence, it's anonymous, let's wait till we have some proof, and you have another side that's like, oh, well, proof? Why do you hate women? Believe women. And then, of course, as with any entertainers, you probably have people who are like, well, I don't care if they rape people as long as their breakdowns are sick. But this account was getting a lot of momentum when Twitter was full of people saying, oh, this band's canceled, that band's canceled, kick this band off of that tour, kick that band off of this tour. And a lot of people were really getting behind this account. But this is the hardcore scene, and people don't know how to fucking act, and this went to shit real fucking fast. This account was gaining a lot of momentum really fucking quickly until one key moment that turned even its most ardent supporters against it. You see, a lot of times in these Me Too stories, people are saying, oh, like, let's not stoke the witch hunt, the mob justice, we don't want mob justice, but this account took it another step further and literally put out a fucking hit list. Overnight, they put out a story with a list of names that they're looking for stories regarding. I'm gonna cover up the names on this list, but this is the Instagram story that they released that was really the turning point in the life of this account. Need more victims regarding, and there's the list of names, it's a very long list. Need more victims. What kind of a person even thinks to say something like that? Like, it makes sense when you have, these Me Too stories and someone comes out on their own volition and they're like, yeah, this person did something to me and I want to tell my story now. It doesn't work this way when you have a list of people that you want to find out abused somebody or something. Like, that's how Jerry Springer fucking works. Once something like that comes out where you have a fucking hit list of people that you want to go after, it's clear that no matter what your intentions were when you began this account, you've made the leap from protector of women, defender of women, to content creator. Now you're starved for content, you got a big growing fan base, and you're chasing those fucking likes. You need to feed the content beast. That's fucking sick. And that moment really was the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, immediately it seemed like people who were big supporters of this account were like, yo, that's really fucked up, actually. And that's the problem with this kind of call-out culture. Like, I don't think any reasonable person wants women to be abused or raped or anything like that, but then when you turn it into this literal fucking witch hunt, and goddamn, as much as people have called all the other Me Too stories witch hunts and shit like that, this is some next level shit when you put out a post saying need more victims. Once you take it in that kind of a direction, you're doing a big disservice to actual victims, and in fact, some leaked DMs show that they really had contempt for the actual victims. A woman who was one of the abuse victims who was in touch with this account messaged them after they put that story up, basically criticizing them for putting pressure on women to come forward with their stories, making them rush it when they're not really ready to say something or anything like that. And they sent the message: trigger women with past assaults, including myself, and it's making women who don't feel comfortable opening up yet feel forced to do it when they're not ready. It's becoming counterproductive at this point because you're making it painful for the women who you're attempting to protect by constantly throwing it in their face. You need to listen to victims when they're ready. That is the most important thing that you can do. And then the person running the account responds, If you feel triggered, unfollow the account for your own safety. Like, does this sound like a person who really has the best interests of abuse victims in mind? Like, that's a response. Like, if you're like an edgy content creator who like makes offensive memes or something, then it makes perfect sense to respond like that. Essentially, at that point, you have an account that's ostensibly there to protect abuse victims, telling an actual abuse victim to go fuck off. And once all that went down, it was practically overnight that it seemed like almost everybody changed their tune about this account. And at some point during the day, they deleted all of their pictures but kept the stories up with a few mugshots of people who had actually been convicted of things, I guess at some point trying to change directions. And then shortly after that, they just deleted the whole fucking thing. I don't think anybody's really sure what exactly motivated that decision. If you ask me, I think they may have been worried about a lawsuit or something. Or maybe it was just a lot of pressure from the people who had turned on them after they started acting like fucking assholes. But it gets even better because a certain name emerged as the person who was running this account. And I'm not going to name this person because I don't want to be held accountable for doxing or, you know, inciting a witch hunt against any specific, even though the name is out there, it's like all over Twitter, I'm not going to participate in naming this person. But this particular person, if the allegations are true, this person is a woman who has been accused of sexual harassment herself. Some of these allegations include the person sending unsolicited nudes of herself to people in relationships and minors. And once again, this isn't me saying that these allegations are true or not, I'm just saying what's out there and I'm not going to name any of these people. But if the accusations are true, it's funny how we see this pattern emerge once again, just like in my video about male feminists, how it seems like it's always the most sanctimonious people who are the ones who are guilty of the thing that they claim to be so against. And that's all I gotta say about that. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Everybody get fucked.